Hello, how are you guys doing? Happy Friday. It's your Friday, but it's my Thursday. I'm sitting here in the kitchen, I'm drinking my coffee, and I'm waiting for my husband to come home because he has to make the dogs their dinner in the rice cooker because we're completely out and I don't know how to do that. So I think we have chicken left though. If not, oh, we got tons of chicken. Oh, we got 2 bags of chicken. We got all that. We are gonna watch American Horror Story tonight and get something to eat for dinner. I don't know what we're gonna get yet for dinner. I am starving right now, so maybe we'll go out to dinner. I'm kind of feeling pasta. It's cold outside. Or Whole Foods, the vegetarian chili. So we might do that. Did I say he's at the Apple store right now? And he's like real frustrated. He's been there forever. It's like 6:15. He got off work at 4 and he's been there ever since. Just put that in perspective. He's real frustrated. So anyway, I just want to say a couple things about things I got in the mail. Number 1, this is from Heather. And it is a very lengthy but very personal letter, so I'm not going to read it on here. But Heather, what you said in this letter really, really touched me. And thank you so much for the letter. I really appreciate it. I love when people share their stories with me as well. And I love reading the letters. The letters are awesome. So then, I'm so excited about this, okay? I think I might show this on my BookTube channel too. This is from, hold on a second. I want to get it all ready. Okay. This is from Love to Love 'em, who she comes in my live streams and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, she sent me, are you ready? Okay. I'll have to show it to you how it all came. I like opened this at the post office. I was like, what is this? First of all, it came in this big thing, and then it said on the bottom of it, please do not fold or bend. And then I opened it and it had this thing inside of it, right? And then this letter. You guys, this is so fantastic. You have no idea what you're about to see. This was so special to me. I don't know, this just like took it to another level for me. Okay, well anyway, I can't get it back in the envelope. Why, when I just had it in there, I don't know. Oh, there it went. Okay. And she has in the back, it says, may be opened and closed repeatedly. So you can see, it has like a little thing. And then the front of it, it's a letter, it says Hogwarts. I showed this to Alex. He doesn't really get the whole Harry Potter thing, but I do, and I was so in love with this. So it says, Peter Monn, master bedroom, like that's where I live. You know, like the cabinet under the, okay, stairs, Indianapolis, Indiana. Okay, so then you open it, on the back here it has the seal from Hogwarts, and then you open it. Oh my God, you guys, this is so great. So it has all this stuff in here, right? So the first thing that it had, first of all, she put in this whole thing about that this is like just, she did this as a fan, like this isn't trying to take anything off of Hogwarts, she's not making any money off that or whatever, but you should set up an Etsy shop because this is fantastic. I don't know how you make money off that, but anyway, if you do, because, I mean, it's obviously J.K. Rowling's. But I got a Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from Hogwarts. Love to Love 'em, Headmaster, Order of Merlin, First Class, Grand Sorcerer, Chief Warlock, Supreme Mug Hump, International Confederation of Wizards. Dear Peter Monn, we are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Please find enclosed a list of all the necessary books and equipment. Term begins on September 1st. We await your owl by no later than July 31st. Yours sincerely, Minerva McGonagall. Minerva McGonagall, Deputy Headmistress. It's official. I got into Hogwarts. And then look, my whole list of everything that I need on here. Uniform. First year students will require course books. It has all the course books, other equipment, 1 wand, 1 cauldron, pewter standard size 2, 1 set glass or crystal files. I have a crystal ball, so 1 telescope, 1 set brass scale. Students may also bring an owl or a cat or a toad. What about Scabbers, the rat? Parents are reminded that first years are not allowed their own broomsticks. And then it has, she put in here I don't know if you guys can see this. I need to hold this up to something on the back that you guys can see. Then she gave me a map of Diagon Alley. I'm saving the best for last. And then this little like stamp that says I want you for Dumbledore's army. And then I got a ticket to platform 9 3/4. And then a special notice from the International Ministry of Magic. And then little stamps that have owls on them from Hogwarts Post Office. I don't know if it's supposed to be a stamp or just it's supposed to be like Hogwarts Post Office. Okay, I have to put this to the side because this is the best. And then this Nicholas Flavellas thing. That's, you know, if you read The Sorcerer's Stone, that's a big part of Sorcerer's Stone. Okay, but the best thing ever... Why are you getting so excited over something like this? Because I just am so into the world of Harry Potter now. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, student identification number, name of wizard or witch, Peter Monn. You guys, this is laminated and everything. Look at that. Look at that. Is that not awesome? The witch or wizard, and on the back it says, the witch or wizard identified on the front of the identification, if in good standing, is entitled to the following. Diagon Alley. 10% off all purchases in Diagon Alley. Free passage on the night bus and free access to the Lou Network. Hogwarts student good standing, it says on the very back if you look. See, it says right there underneath this. Hogwarts student good standing. And how cool is that? So, thank you so much. That meant the world to me. Like, when I opened that, I was just like, oh my god, I love this. I'm really wanting to go to Harry Potter World, and but I want to wait till I've read all the books and seen all the movies. So, like, for me, this was kind of like a little adventure into Harry Potter World. So thank you, because that was very, very cool. Wasn't that so cool and creative? I loved that. Put it back in here. I think I'm going to do a whole, like, booktube video about that when I, because I'm going to do, like, sorting on booktube. Yeah. So those are my two things that I have to show. I have a real pumpkin and I have a fake pumpkin sitting right here. I have Tucker. Tucker, you want to say hi, honey? Come here. He says, I'm not sure I do. Who Radley, you do, don't you? Who Radley says, I am a movie star of the world, and I will always and forever be in your videos, Dad. Are you having a good day? Are you having a good day? You don't want to be on camera? What do you want? You've been running around the yard all day long, haven't you? You've had a good day. He's like, Dad, I need to eat and I need a nap. A nap? He said, yeah. We've been busy making videos and running around the yard. What'd you see out there? Did you see a squirrel? We Radley chased a squirrel up a tree today. It's an exciting world over here in suburbia. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get off here. I just wanted to get on here and show that stuff. And PP is now begging. He thinks I have FOOD up here, which I don't. That stands for food. Anyway, aw, PP. And okay, I'll take you out so that you guys can have a treat. Anyway, I will be back in a little while. Yesterday's vlog was like an hour and 38 minutes long, and I didn't think it would end up being that long. So I don't think today's will be that long. I don't think I'll. I don't know that I have another, what am I at right now? 7 minutes, and I'm almost at 8 minutes. I don't know that I have another hour and a half in me today. But who knows? Who knows? Like, I say that, and then it'll be an hour and 55 minutes, so. All right, you guys, I will be back in a little while. Bye. Hello. Okay. Here's the situation. It's 7:53, and I am on my way to Whole Foods. And I was driving around a little bit listening to my audiobook. Alex just got done with the Apple store. He was there forever. He was not happy about it. And then he went to Chipotle. He was like, do you mean bringing Chipotle home? I'm like, I'm not hungry for Chipotle. So he brought Chipotle, or is getting Chipotle right now and going home. And then I'm getting food, and then we're gonna watch American Horror Story together. So that's been the day. It's been a good day today. Very relaxing, very cool fall weather. I'm gonna get some soup or chili at Whole Foods. I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'm gearing up to read a lot. I'm really excited about Spookathon. I'm really excited about reading some scary books for October. And watching some scary movies. Last night I watched Hocus Pocus. Oh, I want to say this, because I had my vlog on earlier and I was listening to it. I said that the live stream for the Peter's Book Club is Saturday. It's actually Sunday at 4 p.m. So I just want to correct that. And we're going to be discussing Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I actually ended up, like, I was texting Mel, my book club assistant, and she's so awesome. I love you, Mel. And she's so funny. We text back and forth, and but anyway, and I texted her. I said, I'm really struggling getting through this book, and she's like, she didn't like it either. And a lot of people in the book club didn't like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I actually ended up really liking it. About halfway through, it kind of turned around for me, and I don't know, I ended up really liking it. I was kind of surprised. The first part of it, I just was like, I mean, it was humorous and it was funny, and I don't necessarily love books like that. Like, that's not typically what I read. So, and like I said the other night, like, I don't love, like, comedy movies. So for me, like, it wasn't, like, I got the humor, but, like, halfway through, and if you've read the book, I'm going to talk about this in my review. That I meant to do a review about it today, but I haven't done it, and I'm going to do, talk about it in the live stream. But it's the halfway part when they get picked up by the second spaceship, or they get picked up by the spaceship, the improbability, whatever. That, like, that's for me when it started getting really interesting. And I don't know, I might read the rest of the series. Like, I really like it, so. And Devil in the White City, I am still really struggling with right now. We put it on the list because I had heard so many great things about it for so many years. I've actually had quite a few friends of mine that read it and really liked it. Those friends of mine also love nonfiction. So I think that, like, I'm really having a hard time with it. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like this need to finish every book for the book club, and I don't know, maybe if I just can't finish a book, I just need to be honest and not, it's called DNFing a book on BookTube, do not finish a book. If I can't get through it, just, be like, hey, I couldn't finish this book, but I'm giving it my best shot right now, so, the other thing is I'm listening to it on Audible, and it's very dry. Like, it's not a good Audible reading of it. It's just, and I think it's because it's older, maybe. Like, now, like, a lot of the newer books that come out on Audible are, they have actual actors that read them and things like that. I have some people that are like Bonnie Turpin, who read The Hate U Give and The Underground Railroad. She's read a couple of the books. She's like one of my favorite actresses that reads books. And I mean, some of these people that narrate these Audible books are just fantastic. I feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. I don't know. I filmed 2 videos today on my Peter Monn channel, and I filmed my Peterisms channel video, and then it started getting dark outside, so I didn't film a BookTube video because I didn't want it to be, like, all shadowy in my house. It's actually the second day in a row that I haven't. I have videos that I want to film on there. I just am not going to do an October TBR. People don't want this to be a BookTube video, so I won't. Maybe I should just do a vlog tomorrow and talk about why I'm not making these. I'll just do a BookTube vlog tomorrow, just to catch up of where I'm at. I think I'll do that, actually. Thank you for suggesting that. I just finally finished my coffee for the day. I started, trying to save my points at Starbucks to get my rewards, and I feel like it's kind of a scam. Like, you have to spend so much money to get a free coffee. I don't really understand. Do you guys, I mean, I go to Starbucks every day. You'd think I'd be, like, just drowning in free rewards, but that is not the case. It is beautiful out tonight, but it's cold. It is 51 degrees outside, and I wanted to vlog a little bit so that I wouldn't have to vlog later after we watch the show, because I think I'm just going to hang out with my husband. So I don't know, this vlog may not be an hour or an hour and a half, but yesterday was an hour and 38 minutes, and I just posted it before I left to go listen to my audiobook. So that car had a weird turn signal on it. Do you ever just notice random things like that? I never did call Melissa about doing the review video today. I never ended up doing it. Like I said, it got kind of late in the day, and then I made 2 videos on the Peter Monn channel. So it sounds kind of weird saying that. I always feel like I'm speaking in, like, third person about myself. And And then I was like, today, I was like, when I was like driving around listening to my audiobook, I was like, well, maybe I'll do, instead of this, like that channel, I don't know why, but like I'm nervous on that channel. Like I'm nervous of like the quality of the video looking better, or me having it planned out really good. Like I don't know why I'm nervous about that channel instead of like my other channels. Like I can just sit down and film a video, like, I don't, you know what I mean? But like that channel, for some reason, like I'm nervous about it. I have no idea why. And I'm thinking about doing tomorrow, because Alex is going to this concert with his friend Sarah. I have no idea what the concert is. So I will be on my own to eat dinner. So I'm thinking about doing maybe like a review of the Burger King veggie burger compared to like another veggie burger, like the White Castle veggie burger, or I'm gonna look up and see like what fast food restaurants around here have a veggie burger. I know that McDonald's doesn't, I don't think. I think you can ask for like a veggie Whopper, but it's not like an actual veggie burger. And I don't know if like Wendy's does. So I'm gonna look it up and see. So I may do that tomorrow instead. And then Saturday or Sunday, do the review of the holiday item, gift item that I've been kind of like feeding out. But I do think like starting next week, like I'm gonna make a really good effort to post like 4 to 5 videos on that review channel every week. Like I said, I was gonna just do like 2 or 3, but I think I'm gonna really do like make a strong effort to start posting like every other day on that channel. Because I'm having fun planning it in my head, but then like to sit down and actually do it, like I'm not doing that. I'm like waiting till I've got my other videos to do that. So I think I'm gonna do those videos, review videos first. They don't take me like a long time, like once I have the idea, but like this one that I wanna do for the holiday item, like I wanna film like little clips of like me actually using it, and then putting that at the, like after I've shown the product and talked about it, I wanna put that like at the end of it. It'll be funny, you guys. Or you'll say, no Peter, it wasn't funny at all. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So it might be that, I don't know. But anyway, it's fun to start something new, you know? I haven't been writing the last couple days. I don't know why. I just haven't really felt it. Somebody asked a question on my video. They said, I thought it was actually kind of an interesting question because I've just kind of said it, but I haven't really talked about it. They said, how like does your marriage work with you being spiritual and Alex being an atheist? And it's actually an interesting question. All 3 of my long-term relationships that I've been in, the other person has been an atheist. My first boyfriend, my second boyfriend, and now my husband, all 3 are atheists. My last boyfriend, towards the end of our relationship, I would say, kind of was a little bit more agnostic. Like he believed that there might be something out there. He just wasn't sure what it was for him. And with Alex, there's like a reasoning behind, I haven't really talked a lot about this, but there's a reasoning behind why Alex feels that way. And it's not really my story to tell, but I think I've kind of talked a little bit about it on here. Alex actually had a cousin that was the same age as him when they were growing up in Venezuela that was killed in a drive-by shooting. And Alex really struggles with the idea of bad things happening to good people, coming from a place of like spirituality, if that makes sense. And so for him, that's kind of where it started. And then like Alex is very much a factual, scientific person, and you know, spirituality is a lot about faith. And so, you know, he has his reasons for why he feels the way he does. He isn't somebody that, and I don't know if this would make a difference, but like, he isn't somebody that like, if I am talking about God, like he's like, there's no God. Like, you're stupid. That's a stupid idea. There's no God. Like, he knows for me that it's very serious. And actually, I don't talk about it on here as much as I don't talk about it on here or in any of my videos, my spiritual beliefs, or really the depth of it, as serious it is for me. And I think like, to know anybody that's in recovery, that really, you know, like, it's really a lot about finding a higher power. I mean, recovery is, you know, it's about steps. It's about working with your sponsor on steps. It's about going to meetings. It's about, you know, reading the text. And it's about, you know, all of that, and fellowship, and, you know, unity and service, and giving back what you've learned. But it's a lot about finding a higher power, you know, surrendering to that higher power, cleaning up the wreckage of your past. You know, but that being said, there are a lot of agnostics and atheists that are sober. For me, I don't know how that works. Like, you know, I encourage people, but like, there was even a passage, you know, in our basic text that says, you know, God either is or he isn't. And I'm a believer that God, it doesn't have to be a he, a she, or whatever. It can be whatever. And I think that had I come in to sobriety and like it was forced upon me that a certain kind of like religious or spiritual belief, I don't know that I would be here today. Like, I was never turned off by religion. I never internalized it. I couldn't conceptualize what that was for me. So I had to be able to go on my own journey and find some things to be true. And like I've talked about on here before, I went and I read a lot of books and, you know, talked to a lot of people about their experiences. And I took what I liked and I left the rest. And, you know, and when people argue with me about that, I'm like, I don't really care what your opinion, I mean, it's my belief, so okay, you have yours and whatever. But like Alex, he's not, I mean, he respects it, and I respect his lack of belief, you know, like we don't really get into a lot of discussions about it. There's just a mutual respect there, I think, for the other person's, their set of beliefs philosophically, and not just about spirituality, but about like all kinds of things, you know. And that's not the only thing that we differ on in our belief systems. So I think the respect is what makes it work, you know? And then I think that's something that's existed in all of my relationships, my friendships as well, you know? I mean, Tanya and I our spiritual beliefs are very different, but like, I think the overlapping spirituality of recovery is like kind of what joins Tanya and I sometimes. But like, even with like Alex, like terms that I use, that's a God moment, or that's a God thing. If I say stuff like that, like he'll be like, oh, well, what do you mean? And you know, he asks, you know, we do discuss those things, like, so he won't, or I'll say like, there's a lesson in this, and he knows I very much believe that there are lessons to things in life, and that, you know, and he does believe that to some degree, but I think he struggles, well, where does the lesson come from? Does it come from ourselves? And he believes it comes from us, like inside, you know, that the lesson does. And whether the lesson comes from us or it comes from a spiritual source, I think, you know, it's still like you can find lessons in things. And that's actually something that we've talked about, like, you know, in counseling, is that like this mutual respect for each other's belief systems about spirituality and lack thereof or whatever. But, you know, just because you believe that, like, it comes from within you, doesn't mean that that's not, to some degree, like, of the soul. I don't know if that makes sense, but, you know. So it works. I think, like, it wouldn't work if I was with somebody that was like, oh, like, spirituality is stupid, and there's no, you know, why do you believe that, and what, I mean, I just don't think we would have ever made it past, you know, a month, you know, because that's something that's so hardcore to me that I believe in, that, like, I don't care if you really respect that, I don't care if you, I mean, I don't care if you don't believe that, I don't care if you think it's stupid, I don't care what, but at least respect that I believe it means something to me. And, so I think, like, that's why it works for us. And we learn from each other, too, you know, on that, like, and seeing how it plays out in each other. I actually thought it was a good question. And marriages and relationships are really just about getting to know the other person. I don't know. We've had so many friends of ours. I mean, like, when you talk about deal breakers in relationships, right? Like, there's so many things that, like the kid question is huge, you know? Like, does somebody want kids or do they not? Like, with our heterosexual friends, like, and we really don't have tons of gay couple friends. We've got a few, but not tons. But with our heterosexual friends, like, the decision on whether or not they're going to have kids is always like a huge issue. And, you know, when people always ask Alex and I, like, do you guys want kids? And that was a discussion that we had early on. And when we had the discussion early on, I was kind of at the point where my ex and I had talked about it, you know, and had probably talked about maybe that was something that we would want to do down the road. But like when it got to the point with where I was with Alex, I was 36, I was getting older, I was like, you know, like, I don't really care either way, but like, I really enjoy, I don't know, like, I'm the kind of person that if I was going to be a parent, like, I'm so impressed with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law because they're so all in with their kids, right? And, like, even when they went to Florida and they took their kids and they took their mom and, like, Carlos and Liliana came back and they were, like, ready to plan the next family trip, right? And I said to Carlos, I said, don't you and Liliana would just want to take a weekend away with each other? And he's like, why? He was like, we had kids because we love to have kids, you know, we love being with the kids and we love our family. And, you know, like, I think, like, if I was going to have kids, that would be who I was. That, you know, it would be about, well, what school district do they go to, or what school are they going to, or are they in a neighborhood that's safe, or, you know, those kinds of things. And my whole life would be around about that. And I knew for me, if I couldn't be that, and I didn't want to be that, then I probably shouldn't be a parent. So when Alex, he was adamant he didn't want kids, and that was actually something we talked about in, like, literally, like, date 2. And I just was kind of like, well, I mean, if he does, then I would, and if he doesn't, then I don't really care. And it's never been a pressing issue for me. So but I've seen a lot of, like, our couple friends that, like, that's a huge issue. And it's always, like, one person adamantly does not want kids and the other person's, like, really kind of on the fence. But then I feel like as time goes on, like, one of them really kind of does want kids. The only couple that I know that isn't like that are also Jason and Melissa. Like, they really never wanted kids, and that was a decision they made early on too, you know. And I think there's this misconception that people that don't want kids don't like kids, and that's not the case at all, you know. It's like, but I'm a better uncle than I would ever be, you know, a parent. I just, my friends and my family that I respect for their parenting, they're, like, really all in about it, you know? But also with, like, the spirituality thing, like, I've seen a lot of couples that we're friends with, like, they really split hairs over, like, the religious beliefs and stuff like that, you know? And, I think when it's more religion than spirituality, it's more difficult. I don't know if that makes sense, but, you know, like, in our wedding, it was very important for me to have a spiritual aspect to our wedding. There were recovery prayers that I wanted read. You know, for me, I wanted the service, whether it you know, applied to Alex or not, I wanted it to be a, you know, like, I wanted it to be a spiritual service under God. Like, that was important for me. You know, and when I got together with Alex, like, one of the things that my sponsor at the time asked me, you know, like, this is very much a recovery thing, spiritual recovery thing, you know, he said, like, well, what does a relationship with him in God's eyes look like to you, you know? And so, like, when I talk about being a traditionalist, like, those are the core things that are important to me. There's a lot of things, I think, like, for me, it's interesting, like, when you talk about the difficulties of marriage, the things that are the most difficult sometimes are not the things that you really think about. Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes the arguments that Alex and I, like, that really, like, drive us crazy aren't the ones that, they're not things, like, about God or, you know, whatever. Interesting question, though, yeah. And that was, like, never really a huge issue with us, like, never. I don't know, it just really wasn't. We used to have more conversations about it than we do now. You know, like, it was interesting. I've talked about this on here before, but, like, Alex's brother, we took him to Tomorrow World a couple years ago. in Tennessee. He and Alex went, and I stayed in the hotel room because I just didn't want to go. And Alex had gotten media passes for it. And like on the way home, we drove home. Alex slept in the back seat, and my brother-in-law and I, we like sat in the front seat. We were listening to music and talking and stuff like that. And like he was asking me a lot about recovery, and I was saying stuff, you know, and it's like for me, I can't really talk about recovery without talking about my higher power. And he said, you know, I hear you say God a lot. And he was like, you know, like, I don't, like, you don't, like, in the context of recovery, you talk a lot about it, but like when we're just hanging out, he's like, I don't, you know, you don't go to church, you know, whatever. And so he's like, you know, what does that mean for you? And we were talking about it, and to some degree, even though I talk about it, it's very personal, it's very private to me, and like I respect that in other people when they keep that private or personal. Like, you know, I don't have to sing it from the mountaintops, but I don't have to be like embarrassed of it either. Like, and I think for a long time, like for me not to talk about it was because I was like, well, if I do talk about my higher power and my belief, then I come across as like, you know, this religious fanatic, which I'm not at all. I don't, you know, I don't follow any one sect or, you know, religion. I have certain things I believe in, but like my core beliefs, you know, are really about compassion, kindness, love, tolerance, you know, those things, and being that person under my higher power, you know, whatever that means, and being the best version of myself. And when I'm not, you know, trying to improve upon myself and be a better version. And I feel blessed, you know, like had I not gotten sober, I wouldn't have that peace. Like, I don't, that wasn't, like, even if, let's just say, if I hadn't, okay, it's gonna stop, hold on a second, I'll be right back. What I was gonna say was, like, let's just say, had I never been an addict or an alcoholic, right? Like, if I had just been Peter and never picked up, like, I don't think I would have ever been on the road to any kind of spiritual belief that, like, I would have ever found that in my life, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know that, like, had it not been for recovery, I don't think I would have a spiritual, you know, like, peace to myself. Like, I think it took me going through that and then getting sober and being in a 12-step program to have to go on a journey to find out, to even have any idea that that might be important to me, you know? When we talk about steps in recovery, you know, like, step 2 is came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity, and step 3 is made a decision to turn my life and my will over to the care of God as I understood him. And those 2 steps are like, they're powerful steps, you know? And for me, the came to believe was hard. Like, it was really, really hard to like do some soul searching and really find out, like, in my heart of hearts, like, well, who is God, or what is God to me, you know? And then the made a decision. It's not just, you know, turning my addiction over, it's my life and my will. My life, my will to do other, you know, it's about that, you know. And I don't know that at the time I really understood what step 2 was about, but, you know, step 2 came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. It doesn't say came to believe that a power greater than myself could keep me sober. It doesn't say power greater than myself could give me the best life I'm ever going to have. It doesn't say that. It says came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. Could restore my sanity back, you know, could make me sane again, because I wasn't sane. I thought in, you know, crazy terms, and, you know, and I was living my life, you know, and that's where the powerlessness and the unmanageability from step 1 come in, that when I'm looking at my life, you know, it's like, I never had a problem admitting that my life, or that I was powerless over, you know, alcohol and drugs. What I had a problem admitting was that my life was unmanageable, because I felt like I was doing just fine managing my life. Now, to everybody else, it looked like my life was a complete mess. But to me, because I had been doing it so long, I was like, no, my life is fine. And when people would say, like, your drinking and your drugging is a problem, I'd say, my drinking and my drugging is a problem for you. Not for me, for you. But then when I got sober, and you took everybody away, and it was just me, and I'm like, well, shit, your life's a little bit more unmanageable than maybe you want to admit. And you're more dependent on these people that are telling you that your life is out of control. So if you need them in your life, like my father, you know, if you need them in your life, maybe you need to take a look at that unmanageability piece, which is why it was so important to me when I got sober, you know, that my dad and I, like I've talked about this on here, like, you know, after my first sponsor, when I got my second sponsor, you know, like since the end of year one, my dad hasn't helped me out financially. Like, that was really important for me, that we didn't have a relationship built on finances, you know, that I could be dad and son with my dad. And that's the restoring of sanity part for me too. You know, it's the behaviors of how you affect people and, you know, all of that. I don't know, sometimes I look back on who I was before I got sober, and it's like, I don't even know that I knew who I was, you know? I think we talk so much about the drinking and the drugging without really talking about who we were before that. You know, it's like, and the reason that I believe personally for me in the genetic predisposition was because of who I was before I ever picked up. I mean, a lot of who I was, that was, you know, the self-doubt and the fear and all of that was in me long before I ever picked up. I think it was in me from birth to some degree, you know? And I'm not one of those people that can say that I grew up, I mean, even though my mom was an alcoholic, I mean, there were many, many happy times as well, you know? So I can't sit there and say, like, oh, I had this horrible, horrible childhood. Yes, I was bullied, but there were times at school that it wasn't all about that. There were, you know, times after school that I had great days. You know, I don't look back on my childhood and think it was just all woe and misery. Not at all. I had a lot of good times. That's why I tell so many, you know, stories and memories, because there were pieces of my childhood that were just wonderful, you know, really, really wonderful. And so I can't sit there and say, well, all of like my using was a response to all of that, because it just wasn't. It wasn't. And I think we focus a lot, this is what I was going to say, I think we focus a lot, you know, on talking about the immediacy of, you know, the drugs and the alcohol, and especially right now when we live in this opioid-crazed world where I swear to God, not a week goes by where I don't hear somebody else that's passed away from heroin or opioid overdose. Just breaks my heart, you know. I mean, I feel like I just know so many people that have passed away or connected to somebody. I mean, it's literally killing just our younger generation right now, you know, and, but I think that we talk so much about the immediacy of the drug and like what's going on with that without talking about the behaviors and all of that that goes behind that, of who that person is, you know? I mean, sure, we can talk about gateway drugs, and we can talk about somebody smoking pot for the first. I mean, I'm a believer that a gateway drug is whatever you use first, okay? So whether that's, you know, drinking, smoking weed, whatever that is, a gateway drug to me is what you pick up using for the first time. So, you know, and I'm not a big believer in hating the drug. I'm just not, you know, put a pound, I know people disagree with me on this, and that's fine, but it's like you put a pound of marijuana in the middle of a room. Is that pound of marijuana bad? No. It's what you do with it. If you're chronically smoking pot on a daily basis to where you can't get anything done in your life, yeah, now you've done something that's probably not great with that. And if you're an addict and alcoholic, you're probably not somebody that's going to be able to be real successful doing that. I know I wasn't, and I can only speak for myself, you know. But I think take all of that away, it's like, I didn't end up sleeping in a bed with turned over ashtrays and empty bottles of Jack Daniels because I didn't have some pain. You know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of pain inside going on that I wasn't addressing, that I wasn't looking at, that I was just masking and numbing with that shit because I didn't want to deal with it, you know? And I think, like, to some degree, that's why recovery is a lifelong journey. It's like you continue to have that stuff, and, you know, some of it you fix along the way, some of it you recreate, some of it you got new stuff going on, you know? And that's where the spiritual piece is so important, I think, for me. So, yeah. I think the other thing is, too, you know, like, my husband really understands in a way now that he didn't when we first got together, how very life and death this is for me. We've had a few friends die from addiction. And, you know, And just even recently, like Alex, like was somebody that we knew that passed away. We knew them indirectly. You know, Alex, like we were talking about it in counseling, and he just lost it. And he was like, that could be you. And so if my believing in God and my spiritual beliefs and me saying, oh, this is a God moment, or this is a God thing, or this was put in my life by God, or whatever, is going to save my life and make me a better husband, he's okay with that. I mean, he doesn't want me to die. You know what I mean? And I think, like, in the last month, with the shit that I've gone through, you know, like that's why it's been important for me to surround myself with my support network and, you know, in recovery and bring in the gap, you know, of like, because I gotta have my sobriety. If I don't have my sobriety, I don't have anything else. Like, you know, I talk on here about how I don't delete comments. Somebody left a comment on here the other day, and they said, I know they were just being hateful, I don't really care, but they said something to the effect of, this dude is so high, or something like that. You know you're using, how do you even have this video up? Delete. I'm like, you know what? I talk so much about my sobriety on here, and I don't, you know, to me, I stay sober for me. I don't stay sober for the comments. I don't stay sober for anybody else, but that's just disrespectful, just so you know, to say to somebody. And basically then what you're saying is, when you know that I talk this much about sobriety on my videos, like, for me, like, and I want to make this really, really clear for anybody that ever leaves a comment like that on somebody's video that's sober, for me, and, you know, that comment at 6 weeks sober probably would have really bothered me. That comment at 2 years sober probably would have rattled me a little bit. That comment at 5 years sober, you know, maybe not so much. That comment at 23 years and 10 months sober, I just think is ignorant. That's where I'm at with it, okay? But I want to make this clear for the people out there that think it's okay to leave comments like that on people's videos. Not mine. Leave whatever you want. I mean, there's a lot of comments that people put like that, and I'm just like, whatever. They're like, is this dude high on meth or whatever? I just leave the comments. I'm like, whatever. So, I mean, like I said, I'm staying sober for me. But the thing is this, okay? That my sobriety, my recovery is life or death for me. Sobriety and recovery for most people is life or death. You know, one of the reasons why we say the prayer for the still suffering alcoholic and addict is because there's a lot of people that will never make it into the rooms of recovery. They will never be introduced to any form of recovery, you know? The reason why basic texts were invented was because to go places where, like, there were no, like, people in recovery, there were no meetings. It was like, that was what it was all, like, the first, you know, 100 were about, you know, passing on the message. And so it is recovery for me and for anybody else that's sober is life or death, period, end of story. So when you're leaving a comment about somebody that openly is talking about their sobriety and you say, oh, this dude's high or this dude's that or whatever, what you're saying is that you're questioning their sobriety, you're questioning their recovery, which fine, okay, do what you gotta do. But at the same time, like, if it's funny to you, or if it's tea to you, or if it's drama, or if it's just a shitty comment, why would you ever, for a person in recovery, wish that they would go back to using? Like, that comment, like, that kind of whole way of thinking of people that are like, oh, he's using again or whatever, like, why would you ever wish that on somebody? What you're really saying is, I wish death on this person. That's really what people are saying when they make that comment. And I want to make that absolutely clear, you know? The reason I share my story on here, number one, is because there's no way for me to talk about my life without talking about sobriety. It's so much of my life. And the reason why I don't talk about specific literature on here, or I don't talk about certain friends of mine in sobriety, or certain, like, tenets of the program, or what program I'm in, is because I'm bound by certain traditions, and that's to protect the program. That's why I don't do that, you know? But at the same time, I share my story for even just one person out there that it might affect in a positive way. And when I get messages from people and they say, like, I got sober, I'm 5 months sober, or I'm 6 weeks sober, or, you know, like, hey, I watched your video and it really made me think differently, or, you know, whatever, like, that's what it's all about. You know, it's about passing on my message to somebody else. So, people are going to continue to leave comments, and I'm going to, you know, whatever. Probably just leave them most times. But sometimes, you know, I'm like, you know what? I don't need that today. Like, really, like, that's ignorant that you would say that to somebody. It's hurtful, you know? We got people dying every day from addiction. It's an epidemic in this country. And if you can't say something loving and kind to them, and you can't say something helpful, probably should just shut your mouth, honestly. If you can't help them find resources that they want, and you want to keep them down, you want to keep that person down, probably would be better if you just didn't say anything at all, you know? And, it just, there's still, I think people don't really understand that there is a stigma attached to addicts and alcoholics out there, you know, that they're not strong enough, that they can't, like, do it on their own and whatever the reasons may be, you know, it's, you know, addiction's some shit, you know. I was talking about Laura Lee's video the other day when she was, like, you know, talking about Skid Row and LA and stuff, you know, and I've had friends that got sober on Skid Row and, in LA, and then, you know, live here in Indianapolis, and they tell the stories now and stuff, and I'm just like, I got sober in Indianapolis in a pretty nice treatment program. I mean, it was like my 5th treatment experience, but, you know, like, going to meetings all around the city, and I knew people and whatever, like, that was hard. I can't imagine what it would be like being homeless, and I know a lot of people like this, you know, that did it. I can't imagine what it would be like being homeless and getting sober. Like, that would be, I just can't even imagine, you know? And we've got to really embrace people, whatever you believe in loving kindness and compassion, you know, that are going through something difficult. Not just addiction. There are people that are going through all kinds of shit in the world, you know? Why we got to keep on tearing people down? I just don't understand it. You know, I know, like, I've been talking a lot about the stuff that's happened to me in the last month, and it's like, you know what, I'm getting ready to go in here to Whole Foods and get some soup in a second, but, you know, like, I understand I brought a lot of it on myself. I get that, okay? I fucked up a lot in the past. I know that. I'm not proud of it, you know? I don't look at that stuff and go, yeah, these are my proudest moments. I fucked up, you know, I know that. I fucked up in friendships, I get it. But, like, the attacking nature of, like, just wanting to just take somebody down as a result of that. And maybe it is because I'm sober that I've met so many people that have fucked up so bad in their lives before that, like, you look at them and you realize that at the end of the day, they're human beings and they deserve opportunities for growth too. But don't we all? Don't you all? Doesn't everybody? I mean, people are like, no, they don't. Okay, well then that's fine, you know? But maybe there's somebody else out there that will believe in that person, you know? I don't know. Life's hard. It is. And then, you know, when I say that, and then I look at my life, and I think the stuff that's hard for me is, like, I look at other people, and this is where gratitude comes from in my life, and this is a spiritual thing. You know, that, like, God, I don't have it anywhere near as tough as, like, millions of people out there. I got it really, really good, right? At the end of the day, if the worst thing that happens to me is I get some shitty comment about somebody questioning my sobriety on a video, okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. I do it for me. You know? And I hope that somebody out there is positively affected by something that I say and it gives them a little bit of hope. You know? The reason I tell the story of my mom and I is because when my mom was out there using, I never thought she would get sober. And I tell people all the time, you know, never give up on your parents, never give up on your siblings or your spouses. Someday something might change and they might get sober, you know? So anyway, that's my little rant about recovery. And I'm gonna go in here to Whole Foods and get something to eat and I'll be back in a second. Ah! All right, I'm back, right in the same seat. I just texted Alex. I said, I'm gonna finish my vlog on the way home, so I might be a minute. He is at home. He just started the dog's food, and he's waiting for it to be done. And I went into Whole Foods, and I got soup again, but oh, the tape came off of it. I don't want it to spill. I got broccoli cheddar soup. Okay, you know yesterday when I said the cornbread was $4.99? Okay, that wasn't true. It was $4.99 a pound. So, I got these, I'll show you the cornbread I got today. Where is it? I got this cornbread today. Just regular cornbread. And this was $1. So it wasn't at $4.99. Oh, but it's so good. And then I got a lemonade again. And I got broccoli cheddar soup. But then I got some stuff from the salad bar. I got like couscous and this like carrot tabbouleh salad or something. I don't know. But anyway. Because I wanted some like stuff from the salad bar. So that's my dinner for tonight. I'm getting ready to go eat that while I watch American Horror Story with my husband. I'm real excited. And it was kind of like dead in there. Whole Foods it's never really. Last night it was a little bit busier, but tonight it was kind of dead. I wonder why, because it's colder outside. The parking lot's dead too. There's nobody here. Much earlier. I love that pumpkin pie chapstick. So, yeah, sorry about my addiction rant there for a little bit. But, you know, it's something I take very seriously. It's something that I'm very, very passionate about. And, yeah, I guess I don't really apologize for it. You know, I think, like, it's something people need to be educated on, you know, and, if I'm gonna get fired up about something, I guess that's something to get fired up about a little bit, you know, and talk about, because I think it is important. And I don't want to see anybody die from this disease, you know? It's sad. Because it doesn't just affect that person, it affects, you know, like, all of the people around them, their family, their friends, their coworkers, you know, teachers, you know, people that say, what could I have done differently? And, you know, like, if I had done this, or if I had done that, even if they had done so much to try to help the situation, you know, I think we still feel helpless in that situation. This person is, like, swinging lanes here, okay. Which I think is why, like, it's so important that we have, you know, 12-step programs for friends and family members as well, support systems for that. So, yeah. I told Tanya yesterday, my old sponsor has like severe arthritis, and so he very rarely, this is my sponsor I had for like a majority of my recovery, my life, and so she went to an early meeting yesterday, and she saw him there, and then they went out to breakfast afterwards, and I was like, I'm kind of jealous that you got to go to breakfast. She's like, well, get up, because he doesn't stay up late anymore, so he never goes to like night meetings, because it's harder for him, and especially when it gets colder, it's hard for him. And she told me she was like talking, she's like, I think that if I was a multi-billionaire, I would just buy him a house in Arizona somewhere, or Florida, so that he could just enjoy nice weather all year round. And he's such a great guy. Met so many wonderful people in recovery through the years, you know. Recovery memoir in a while. I feel like for a while I was reading one like a month, but I haven't read one in a while. There aren't that many out right now that I've heard that are like really that great. The last one that I read, I think, which was why I kind of like stopped, was a woman walks out of a bar. I think it's what it was called. I did not care for that book. But that, if you want to read a really great recovery memoir, well, Dry by Augustin Burroughs is like fantastic. But Blackout, Remembering the Things I Drank to Forget is so fantastic. It's like one of the best recovery memoirs I've ever read. I need to maybe like give A Million Little Pieces another try. Like, I just was not wanting to read that book when it first came out, and because of all the hype about it and stuff like that, with Oprah and all that, but like, and everything that came out afterwards. But like, you know, Tanya, like, that's one of her favorite recovery books. And I think the second one is called My Friend Leonard. She loves that book too. And I don't know, maybe I'll do that. Maybe next month I'll read A Million Little Pieces and give it a try. And I remember years ago Tanya and I talking about it, and I was like, well, he supposedly like falsified much of his story, and she was like, yeah, but who cares? And I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, who cares if it helps somebody? She goes, if that book helps somebody, who cares? You know? And today, like Oprah was real hard on him, and then I think she came back later and she apologized or whatever. But like, I don't know. I guess I kind of see Tanya's point of view on it. The mall is packed today. P.F. Chang's is packed today. I haven't been to P.F. Chang's in forever. I was craving fried rice the other night, but I didn't end up getting it. I don't remember. You guys probably know what I ended up getting that night. I don't even remember what I ended up getting. I haven't been to Fridays for a long time. Alex's friend Sarah, that's actually where she lived, she worked before she moved from here. Before she got into the corporate world, so to speak. Maggiano's I love too. God, Alex loves Maggiano's because he is forever the king of take-home food that he can eat at work the next day. And you know, Maggiano's, you guys have Maggiano's in your area. I don't know if you know this or not because it seems expensive, but here's the thing. They have these meals, like when you, I think it's on like the front, like when you go in, like when you open the menu, it's like the first page on the menu, and it's like, if you order one of these, you get one to take home too. Like they bring you one to take home at the end of dinner. And so it's like, so it's not like a 2-for-1. Like you don't go in there and get like, you pay for 2 meals, but like you get 4. Does that make sense? Like you get one to take, it's a full order to take home. Like, so Alex gets spaghetti and meatballs, or spaghetti and it's like one giant meatball, I think. So he gets like a whole other spaghetti and meatball to take home with him that he can go eat at work for like the next 2 days. Or like a fettuccine, like because I love fettuccine Alfredo, or Alex gets lasagna a lot. But I think there's like 5 or 6 meals on there that you can pick from, and if you order one of those, then you get a whole size order to take home. I mean, that's fantastic, you know? We haven't been there in a long time. Maybe we'll have to go there this next week. That'd be kind of a fun date night. First couple of years that we were together, we went there a couple times. You know what's really funny? This is, okay, so I went out to dinner there with a friend, and we were sitting at this table. This is, God, I don't know, 11 years ago. We were sitting at this table, and in front of us was this long table, right? And it was like 8 or 10 guys, and it was a birthday party. And it was like all these gay guys, and they were being real loud and funny and stuff, and like we just kept on looking at them. And I remember thinking to myself at the time, like, I don't, because I've always, like, I've had a couple like close gay friends, but not like a big group. Like even the group of gay guys I used to hang out with, it was like me and 3 other guys. It's never been like that, right? And which has been hard for me, you know, like as a gay man. Like, I don't know, like never in my life did I ever have like some huge group like that I was part of. And so anyway, I remember sitting there watching them, and for this, and the guy whose birthday it was, like I later met, right? So hold on, the story. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching them, and they're like having fun, and like they're singing when the birthday cake comes out and all this kind of stuff, right? And I remember saying to my friend, like, I wish I had a group of friends like that. Like, I don't know these, like I didn't know them, you know, like even though I was going out and stuff every once in a while, like I didn't know these guys. And I had seen a couple of them out. They were like, some of them like the more, I don't know, popular gay guys or whatever, but I didn't know them, you know? So I get with Alex, and like he introduces me to this guy that, you know, it was his birthday that night, but I didn't know that at the time. And so like we were, like I got to know him a lot. We used to go to his house for like, he had a housewarming party, and then we went there for like something else, I don't know. And so we were there one night, and he was like, oh my God, do you remember my birthday party at Maggiano's? That was so much fun. I don't do those big like dinner birthdays out anymore and stuff like that. And Alex was like, yeah, that was so fun. And I was like, you had your birthday party at Maggiano's? And like it all clicked for me. And I was like, and I looked at Alex and I go, this was like a year after we had been dating. I go, were you there? And he was like, yeah. And I go, oh my God, I was there that night. I was sitting at the table right next to you. And Alex was like, no way. I go, yeah, I was sitting right there with my friend so-and-so. And I was like, we were looking at your table, and I was like, it would be so nice to have a big group of friends like that. And then I was dating Alex that was at that dinner. Isn't that funny? Serendipity. Maybe. If you believe in all that, I don't know. But I thought that was funny. Or that it's just a small world and we're all, you know, 6 degrees of separation. That could be too. I'd actually seen, like, before I, like, reached out to Alex, I'd seen him out a couple times, and he and his 2 friends, one of which we went to his wedding, like, 2 years ago. I've talked about that on here before. I mean, these guys became my friends too. It was the three of them. They used to call themselves like the Three Musketeers or something. I don't know, when they would go out. But I would always see them out, and they were always, you know, having fun, dancing and being crazy and stuff. And I, you know, and then the other one moved to New York, and so I would see him out before that. And then this other time that I, like, the first time that I ever, like, saw him, like, with the birthday, like, our friend whose birthday it was. This is a different friend. It was, like, in a club, and Alex was, like, giving him birthday spanks for his birthday. He was, like, with a different group of people that night, and he was, like, much more settled down. That's probably why I was kind of, like... I've always kind of, like, keenly spotted, like Alex likes to go out and have a good time, but, like, if somebody's, like, a huge, like, party animal, like, that's kind of, to me, I'm kind of like, oh, like, that scares me a little bit. And, you know, like, when Alex and I got together, like, he loved to go out and he loved to dance, but it was different. It wasn't, like, about all of the drinking and partying and all that kind of stuff that, like, I knew a lot of people were into. It was more about, like, dancing and going here and salsa dancing on Thursday night and all these friends. And, you know, he introduced me to this whole group of people that I didn't even know, you know, and it was fun. It was, like, really, really fun. And, but it was also not, like, just, I mean, we went to a lot of gay bars, but it wasn't just about that. It was, like we went to a lot of, like, clubs downtown, and, I don't know, I met so many people that, like, that's where we met a lot of our, like, couple friends, through that whole, like, going out. We have two friends of ours that are DJs, that are a couple, and, I love them so much, and, we met them from going out, you know, and they're, like, really, like, diehard friends of ours, and, we've just met some really good people from all of that. I think sometimes, like, going out gets, like, a negative connotation, you know, and it's like, well, that's true if you're going out a lot. I just don't enjoy it the way that I used to, but I still enjoy it from time to time, you know. But, like, at that time, I had a lot of fun doing it. Sometimes it was, you know, too much, staying out, like, way late and stuff like that, but... Today, though, I think I'd rather, like, travel more and do that kind of stuff. But, you know, most of our friends that, like, we all met then, too, like, most of those people don't. Like, we have one friend, like, one couple that we're friends with, and they're my age, and they still go out, like, every Friday and Saturday night. Like, every Friday and Saturday night they're out. And I'm like, how do you guys do it? And they're like, oh my God, we love it. And they go to all different kinds of places. They go, you know, line dancing, they go here, and they go, I'm like, how do you guys do it? Like, aren't you tired? Or do you even feel like it's worth it? And they're like, oh, it's still fun, we still have fun. I'm like, oh my God, I could not do it. I mean, they're, like, older than me, actually. And I'm like, there is no way every Friday and Saturday night, you know, I just couldn't. How would I vlog, first of all? Oh, you know, I'd still find time. No, but there's other things that I enjoy doing, you know, like, I still think it sounds like fun, but not every Friday and Saturday night. I love to dance. I used to go out and I'd be dancing the whole night. I remember Alex's one friend that moved to New York, when, like, at the time that I met Alex, he was 22, and I remember he'd say to me, like, we would go out, and he'd be like, oh my God, he's like, you just dance the whole night, you have so much fun, and he's like, you know, like, I want to be just like you when I'm your age, and he's like, how do you do it without, like, drinking and stuff? He's like, you know, like, we drank, but you're having fun, and you didn't even have to have a beer or anything, and I'm like, I just enjoy going out, I enjoy listening to music and having fun, life's short, you know, and he'd always be like, you're so much fun, you just, you know, whatever. And it was so much fun. I've always been that, you know. I think I get that from my mom, you know. My mom was always somebody, you know, turn on the music. Like, my mom, like, she'd talk about going to weddings back in the day. She'd go with her girlfriends to, like, you know, like, when people's kids started getting married. So my mom would go, and it'd be like, her and two of her sorority sisters, they'd always be going to all the weddings. It's like they were making the wedding rounds with all their friends' kids, right? And she'd call me up, and she'd be like, oh my God, you know, it was me and so-and-so and so-and-so, and we went, and we were the first ones on the dance floor, and we danced the whole night. They could hardly take it. And this was when my mom was sober too, you know? And she'd say they played them all. They played all the 50s, 60s Motown songs, and they played, you know, the Madonna, and they played this, and we were requesting songs, and the DJ was so good, and we danced the whole night, and then we had a piece of cake, and then we came back and we danced some more, and we were like, the people were just, they loved it, and we were dancing. We were the first ones on, we were the last ones off. My mom loved to dance. Like, all her and her friends always loved to dance. Like, I say that about my mom in the kitchen. Like, she always had music on, and she'd just be dancing in the kitchen, snapping her finger, you know, and she loved it. She loved music, and my husband is so much like that, you know. He just loves music. He loves it so much. Like, he constantly sends me links to songs to listen to, and it's always something different, you know. And it's always interesting to me, like, when I talk to somebody and I say, like, well, what kind of music do you like? And they, like, my cousin Caroline's kind of like this. And I'll say, like, well, what kind of music do you like? I mean, I listen to really anything. Well, what's something that who's somebody that you love? And they can't really name somebody. I'm like, we need to find you somebody that you love. So if you're somebody out there and you're like, you don't really, like, have one artist that you love, like, our goal for 2018 is we're gonna find you an artist that you, like, love. That you, like, listen to their music and you're like, oh my God, I can't live without them. I don't care if it's the Eagles. I don't care if it's Beyonce. I don't care if it's Martin Garrix. I don't care if it's, you know, whoever. I don't care who it is. We're gonna find you somebody that you love, that you just can't live without. You love their music. I think for me, it's like Stevie Nicks. Like, I love Steve and Bob Dylan, you know? And a lot of the Grateful Dead. God, the Grateful Dead. I miss Jerry. Let's talk about another tragic story. But, you know, just music that makes you feel something. I love so much, like, electronic dance music, too. You know, I'm so thankful for Alex exposing me to all of that. But, like, start listening to a lot of music. Figure out what you like and what you don't like, you know? Get some favorite songs. Make a playlist of, you know, your favorite songs that make you happy and all that kind of. I actually have a playlist on my phone called Happy. It's just what I play when I want to feel happy. I got one on there called Diva, and I got one on there called High School. And my Diva music is the music that I could walk a runway to. It makes me feel confident about myself. And then I got all my high school favorites on there. I got another one on there, Sexy, I think, too, when I want to, like, get ready for a hot day with my husband. It's fun to have those playlists on there, so. What would be the soundtrack for your life, you know? I love that question. What songs are songs that you've had throughout your whole life that, like, have some profound meaning to you? I love the song My Back Pages, Bob Dylan did, you know? It's one of mine. A lot of mine. Bob Dylan songs, probably. Ripple by Grateful Dead. I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. All right, you guys, listen, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to finish my vlog early, go eat. I'm going to upload it. I'm going to get this up early tomorrow. I'm not going to make you guys wait until late in the evening. It will be up early. Don't forget, this is a correction. The live stream for the book club is actually Sunday at 4 p.m., not Saturday at 4 p.m. So if you want to come and join, it'll be Sunday at 4 p.m. I'll probably also be doing a live stream Friday evening because Alex is going to the concert. So I will be doing a live stream Sunday night, probably around 9 o'clock-ish, I'm thinking, Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come join, too. I'm almost home. I can't wait to eat. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.